What is up, J Squad? And today I have an idea that I've been thinking to do for a long time. Now, you see this list on the screen. You guys basically get what I'm doing. Today I'm going to be doing building the perfect player. So basically I'm going to be choosing the best player at each category that I have on the screen. So our first category obviously is defense, as you can see, defense and rebounding. And yeah, we're just gonna start it off real quick. Let's start off. Okay, so we start off with off-ball pest, and I have a lot of ideas in mind. When you think of current, you think of Patrick Beverly and Marcus Smart, guys like that. Maybe a little bit Kyle Lowry, maybe. But if this is all time, by the way, so they definitely can't be those guys. My two big thoughts that I had was Gary Payton and Tony Allen. And Tony Allen, don't get me wrong, was a off-ball pest, definitely. And just an overall stop-getter. But if we're talking greatest point guard defender of all time, with the trash talking, everything like that, I'm going to go Gary Payton on this one. So Gary Payton is my off-ball pest, kind of like ability to just be off-ball pest. So first one was a simple choice, but the second one is definitely the hardest choice in this whole category, the defensive category, which is trash talking. Trash talking isn't really defense, but you know how I put off-ball pest and trash talking kind of goes into that? Yeah, now let's do trash talking. A lot of people come to mind. MJ, Larry, Kobe, Gary Payton, as I said, Kevin Garnett. Yeah, those are like the main guys. There's no one else who can really get this spot. So right now, I'm going to say, shout out Gary Payton and everything, but I'm going to kind of take him out because these guys are on a ridiculous level of that. I don't want to say I'm going to take out MJ, but I kind of want to. And Kevin Garnett, because KG, don't get me wrong, trash talker, yeah, but he's more of like a mentality guy. Like, I would kind of pick him for like mentality. However, I wouldn't because of Kobe. But he's like the third pick in mentality behind like LeBron and Kobe, you know? Not LeBron and Kobe, MJ and Kobe. But yeah, if we're talking trash talk, I'm going to take out KG and MJ and Gary. And it's between Kobe and Larry in my opinion. And here I would kind of say Larry. Because Kobe was a trash talker, I know, a big one. But he wasn't on the same level as Larry. I don't see anyone who was really on the same level of Larry Bird. So he's going to be my pick for trash talking. Now the next one, I'm going to get it out the way right now, is Dennis Rodman. Obviously it's not like him by far, but it kind of is him by far. I was thinking Bill Russell, because for some reason I forgot Dennis for a second. Another person who comes to mind, Allen Iverson. Who's another guy? Even Gary Payton even comes back in this conversation. So yeah, there are some guys, but you gotta say Dennis here. You gotta. Okay, this is another tough one. Very, very, very tough one. I'm gonna rule out everybody else except for the three guys who I'm thinking of: Wilt Chamberlain, Bill Russell, Dennis Rodman. Now, right now, it's very hard for me to say this, but Dennis does have the hustle. I know that. But I kind of want to leave Dennis out here, only because Bill and Wilt are on different levels. Can we please agree with that? I'm not agree with that. Agree on that? Okay, I'm just going to say that. But yeah, I'm going to take Dennis out of this. He's easily third. Like, there's no one else close to him being third. But yeah, I have Dennis third on my, like, rebounding list. Best rebounders ever. And the reason I'm just gonna get straight to it. I have Wilt Chamberlain over Bill Russell. And the stats don't lie. One of the best two-way players, not two-way, one of the best like rebounding scorers ever. Maybe the best. You would probably say that, you know. 50 points and 25 rebounds in a season is insane. And for the fact of how good he was at scoring while still rebounding is kind of why I have him here. Bill Russell, very close second, but for rebounding, give me Wilt Chamberlain. Okay, that was for rebounding, Wilt Chamberlain. And now I was thinking in mind, who comes to mind for current players when you think a defensive leader? You know, you're gonna think like LeBron. Who's another guy? There's not that many guys who come to mind right now, honestly. So it's hard to think of. Maybe even like a Matisse Thybulle could come to mind here. But what I'm just gonna say, I don't know why I really have to explain this one. I'm gonna go Draymond Green on this one. Not Green, Draymond Green on this one. And the reason for this is that the way that he plays on defense. If you listen to his mic'd up, like if you guys know what that is, that's basically when there's a mic like connected to the players are mic'd up. Basically, it shouldn't be hard to explain. So yeah, when you listen to him on mic'd up, he's yelling at his teammates saying "stay back." Like other players do this, but I see Draymond probably 5 times more than anyone else do this. Yell, "Get back on defense," or "Stay and help." And he has one of the greatest defensive IQs of all time, which is completely impressive. So yeah, I gotta put defensive leadership basically, as Draymond Green. So yeah, Draymond Green. Okay, so yes, that was the first part of this video. For defense. My defensive abilities are Gary Payton, Larry Bird, Dennis Rodman. Or no, wait, let me explain them. For my ability to be an off-ball pest is Gary Payton, trash-talking Larry Bird, hustle Dennis Rodman, rebounding Wilt Chamberlain, and defensive leadership Draymond Green. Now on to the offensive side of things. Okay, I'm back, and this is gonna be near impossible to do correctly. I'm just gonna say this. It's gonna be hard to pick one player for each of these categories, but I'm just gonna get into it, so I don't waste any time, and let's just go. Let's go. Okay, so first on the list is ISO game, and this is basically how well my player will be in isolation situations, like who my player. You get what I'm trying to do. You get what I'm trying to do. Okay. For ISO game, there's a lot of amazing options. James Harden, Kevin Durant comes to mind for current, and Steph Curry. Kawhi runs ISO, but I don't think he's on the level of the other guys, honestly. Kyrie comes to mind, but then when we go all time, it's near impossible. Allen Iverson, Joe Johnson, Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, and is there any more examples? Paul Pierce. This is gonna be insane. I'm gonna say I'm gonna cut out like the bottom of the guys that I've said, basically like the guys who are on a lower tier. So like Kyrie, Paul Pierce. I'm not saying these guys are bad. I'm just saying I'm gonna take them off, you know. So ISO Joe, Paul Pierce, and Allen Iverson kind of go. It's down to KD, James Harden, Kobe, and MJ. And I'm gonna take off Kobe because this isn't post isolations, not nothing like that. So yeah, I'm gonna take off Kobe. I'm gonna say that. MJ used to run a lot of ISO, but I'm gonna have to kind of say that KD's a bit better. So it's between KD and James Harden, and I can't say KD's better than MJ and not say KD's better than James. So with my ISO game, I'm going to take Kevin Durant because that means I can shoot over almost anyone. So this is going to be very overpowered. Okay, 1 down and a lot to go. Now, the second category on my list is catch and shoot. I'm just going to say it. I have 4 guys in mind right now. Ray Allen, Reggie Miller, Klay Thompson, and Steph. Now, it's kind of ridiculous to say this since Steph is the best shooter of all time. But I'm going to take off Steph because he can catch and shoot, obviously, like we know this. But he's not a catch and shoot player, so I don't really want to count him for this, you know? So yeah, I would give this to Steph, but it's kind of like cheating, in my opinion. But yeah. Oh yeah, and I had to leave off 3-point shooting because I think catch and shoot is kind of a bigger part of 3-point shooting. Because I can already create my shot with ISO game, so like, I don't really need 3-point shooting, stuff like that. Okay. So, on the catch and shoot, it's hard to debate between these 3, but I think I want to take off Reggie because Ray Allen's the all-time leader in threes. You get what I'm saying? And he did. I'm just saying, way more than half of his threes came off of catch and shoot than Reggie. So it's between Ray Allen and Klay. And you guys can debate this all you want, but I think Klay Thompson is the best catch and shoot player that we've ever seen in basketball history. Well, in NBA history. When Klay comes off of screens, he can... Okay, no. Let me not even say that. For a whole game, he can dribble 10 times and score... What's a good number? 35 on you. Do I really have to explain anything else? If we're talking pure catch and shoot, then I'm going Klay Thompson. Okay, well, 2 Warriors are on the board. 2 former Warrior... Well, 1 former Warrior and 1 current one. That kind of shows how good they were at shooting, but... Now we go to mid-range, and I think you guys kind of know what I'm going to do. I'm gonna say Kobe and MJ are close, but you gotta go MJ. MJ used to shoot, what, like 55% some seasons and average 30. Probably, how many, what's a good number? Like 20, like 16 of his points are coming from the mid-range. You get what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm just gonna say it right now. Michael Jordan is the best mid-range player ever. Now is in my opinion, one of the toughest categories in this whole video. Finishing. This means, like, slashing, finishing around the rim, like, hook shots, stuff like that. Basically, it's like scoring in the post and slashing overall into one. Now, when you really think about it, one person who can really only... I mean, there's a lot of guys who can. What am I saying? For finishing, you can go a guy like MJ or LeBron mainly. Or who's another slasher and post scorer? I don't know, man. I can't. It's hard to think of, honestly. So I think this is between MJ, LeBron, and Wilt. But listen to me. You know the difference between MJ and LeBron and Wilt? Like, the difference between the MJ and LeBron and then Wilt. The big difference is LeBron can shoot. Okay? LeBron can shoot threes. And MJ can shoot threes. You want to know something Wilt couldn't do? Shoot threes. And if we do the math here, that means that Wilt used to average about 25 field goals per game in his 50 point per game season. Yes, he did average 25 points per game off of only 2s. And now for that reason alone, I have to say Wilt. That might sound like a dumb explanation, but let me explain. LeBron can shoot threes, basically, is what I'm trying to say. And he doesn't have to rely on his finishing. MJ can shoot mid-range and threes and doesn't have to rely on his finishing. Now, Wilt didn't even have a three-point line. So he didn't even have a chance to do that type of stuff and was still averaging 50 points, 40 points, 30 points, whatever season you want to take from him. Without shooting threes and only a bit of mid-range. So, yeah, I can't... Yeah. Okay. Can I just... Okay, we're going to speed through these last ones, because this one is a pretty simple one for me. Because I want my player to be an efficient player, that's another reason why I chose Wilt and MJ in mid-range, and Klay Thompson and catch and shoot. I'm just going to keep it plain and simple. For clutch shooting, it's going to be Michael Jordan. Now, these last two are probably the two hardest. So, I'm going to go for the playmaking first before I go for the playoff performance. Now, for playmaking, it's between two guys. I'm just going to say you guys probably know who the two guys are. And don't get mad at me, other people who think another guy should be on this list. John Stockton and Magic Johnson. Now, wait, before you guys get mad that I don't have LeBron as the greatest passer of all time, or playmaker. You know what I'm trying to say. I don't think LeBron is. And I kind of think that guys like Chris Paul can even be over him. And a reason that I say that is because, yes, LeBron didn't play on the greatest team sometimes, but you guys got to think about it. Magic Johnson would average 10 assists no matter what. 10, 9, whatever. He averaged like 9.6. Some people will say like, oh, he didn't average 10 that season. No, like if we round up for him, then it is 10. So the reason I don't say LeBron is because I don't see him averaging 10 assists a lot. He averaged it one time. Well, I'm going to check this right now. Magic and John averaged it. Well, Magic averaged it 10 times, and John averaged it 11. So 11 and 10 times compared to one time is not fair. So for this, I'm just going to do something that I haven't done on this list yet, and that is call it a tie. Yes, a tie between John Stockton and Magic Johnson. This is the only one I think I'm allowed to tie on because it's so equal. It's so equal. Now for the last category, playoff performance. This might sound weird, but I'm going to keep it short. It's LeBron James, man. If you're talking about all around playoff performance, you have to. All playoff scoring, that's a different conversation. But yeah, if we're talking about performance, like all around, and the way that LeBron carried his teams to like finals, stuff like that, I'm gonna go LeBron here. It's not by far. Remember that. I didn't say it's by far, but I'm gonna go LeBron for this. Okay, well, that was your boy Jay, and this is a great video to make, man. Honestly, this kind of proved my opinion on who I think is the best at certain things. And yeah, I tried to build the perfect player. You guys tell me what I did wrong. I think I got a couple of things wrong in you guys' opinion because a lot of these are close. A lot of these are very, very close. That's why I had to call it a tie on John Stockton and Magic. But yeah, that's gonna do it for the video. That was your boy Jay, and peace.